I believe it needs to be bad. I believe it needs to becoming a better human being. It's not going to happen. If I don't fix myself, I won't be good for anybody. So yeah, I became very unbalanced for a long time. I mean, balance is important, but you have to first go to war with yourself. You got to figure out what you're about and be proud of who you are before you start to get that teeter-totter nice and balanced out. So if you read my book and you see what goes on, you'll see how many mistakes I make along the way, trying to find balance, trying to find peace in myself, and I fucked myself all up. I'm having relationships, I'm having, I get a girl, knocked up, she's pregnant. I'm in the worst spot of my fucking life. I don't have a real job, I'm going through SEAL training, I haven't graduated in SEAL training, I'm going back through SEAL training for the third time, and now I have a girl that's pregnant. I'm all over the fucking place. I have no money, I have nothing. And I'm establishing a life with a family, and I'm all fucked up. So, a lot of us get in situations where we start establishing all these different things and popping all these different pop-up boxes, and our life is fucked. Because we haven't fixed ourselves. Until you fix yourself, don't start another journey before you finish your own journey first. Or not finish it, but at least get a good, foot start into it. And I fell into that several times, into that whole man thing. Get a family, do this, do that. And I'm jacked up. I'm insecure. I have all kind of issues going on. So I'm bringing all these issues into a family. And all that does is destroy your family. So what it means to be a man, it means everything. It means not sleeping sometimes. It means sometimes you go without to make sure that your family goes forward. And if that's your family, maybe you're in combat, maybe you're in a situation.
Is that he's still oriented towards his family. That's what makes him honorable, is that foolish as he is, he's decided to adopt responsibility for his family and to try to bear that. And so he's a holy fool. He's not a complete fool. And it's so interesting watching the story because he suffers dreadfully as a consequence of not being able to fulfill his responsibility. Well, that's for men. Women have their sets of responsibilities. They're not the same, right? Because they're complicated, because women, of course, have to take primary responsibility for having infants at least, but then also for caring for them. They're structured differently than men. For biological necessity, even if it's not a psychological issue, and it's also partly a psychological issue. Women know what they have to do. Men have to figure out what they have to do. And if they have nothing worth living for, then they stay Peter Pan. And why the hell not? Because the alternative to valued responsibility is impulsive, low-class pleasure. And you saw that in the Pinocchio story, right? That's Pleasure Island. It's like, well, why lift a load if there's nothing in it for you? That's another thing that we're doing to men that's a very bad idea. And to boys. It's like, you're pathological and oppressive. It's like, fine then, why the hell am I going to play? If that's the situation, if I get no credit for bearing responsibility, you could bloody well be sure I'm not going to bear any. But then, you know, your life is useless and meaningless, and you're full of self-contempt and nihilism, and that's not good. And so that's why I think, that's what I think's going on at a deeper level with regards to men needing this direction. A man has to decide that he's going to do something. Life has meaning with responsibility. The more responsibility you take on, the more meaning your life has. And the higher degree of responsibility that you agree voluntarily to try to bear, the richer your life will be. And no one's ever told that, and it's the case. You know, it's like you have 4 kids, say, well, that's plenty of responsibility. You're going to have meaning. It's going to be rough, you know, because it's complicated. You have a complicated job, and you try to help the careers of the people around you. You try to solve tough problems and aid suffering and do all of that. It's like, it's weight, it's responsibility, but there's glory in it. There's real glory in it. There's deep meaning in it. And you're way more than you think, man. Stand up, do something difficult.